ما تمسكنيش ما تمسكنيش ما تمسكنيش انت اللي ماسك ايدك الاول.
No, my friends, but are here, me and my friends. But I came here by myself to this tour, all alone.
You're my husband and you...
No, back home.
No husband?
No.
No wife?
No wife. So now we are arriving at the temple of who some, including myself, may refer to as the first great woman in history, Hatshepsut. She is only one of 3 women pharaohs in 3,000 years of ancient Egyptian history, and the only one to hold full power as a pharaoh. She is my favorite pharaoh, and as you may or may not remember, I visited her mummy in the Egyptian Museum on day 3. Just a little bit of information about Hatshepsut. She was born to a powerful pharaoh named Thutmose I around 1507 BC. Her father died when she was about 12 years old, which kind of forces her into a situation where she has to marry her half-brother Thutmose II. Yes, I did say her half-brother. Incest was pretty normal at that time, especially among royals, to secure the purity of the bloodline for the throne. When Hatshepsut is about 15, her husband / stepbrother dies. But before he dies, he fathered a son, Thutmose III, and an heir to the throne by a lesser wife, not Hatshepsut. This leaves Hatshepsut in a situation where she obviously cannot claim the throne as a woman, so she will act as regent queen to her toddler stepson until he comes of age and is able to claim the throne. So she is regent for about 7 years or so, and when she's about 22, right before her stepson is able to claim the throne, she makes a bold, unprecedented power grab. She takes the throne as a woman, king of Upper and Lower Egypt, making her one of 3 women pharaohs, and a pharaoh is a king, in 3,000 years of ancient Egyptian history, and the only one with full power as a woman pharaoh. Another interesting thing about Hatshepsut is that she dressed the part as a king, kind of like a cross-dresser 3,000 years ago in her era. She donned a beard and male clothing, and also depicted herself in hieroglyphics and statues with the face of a woman but a body of a man. She wasn't trying to deceive anyone. Everyone knew she was a woman. This was just how she portrayed strength during a time and in a place that revolved around male power. Hatshepsut's reign lasted for about 22 years or so, and according to a CT scan, scientists think she died in her 50s of bone cancer, but also suffered from diabetes and arthritis. There are also thoughts that she may have inadvertently poisoned herself with a cream she used to soothe her skin condition. Her cause of death doesn't seem completely certain, but after her death, there was an urgency by her successor and stepson Thutmose III to remove her legacy. He did this by defacing and destroying her statues and cartouches. A cartouche is the symbol that spells out your name. And if you watch the video closely, you may spot cartouches and statues that have been damaged. And they think he did this because she was a female. So her reign to them, I guess in their eyes, may have been illegitimate. So they were trying to remove her from history, from records. So this is how they tried to accomplish that. But obviously they failed, because 3,000 years later, we are still talking about Hatshepsut, and she goes down as one of the most influential, most powerful, not only women, but people in the history of the world. This wall right here is a very significant part of this temple, so make sure you don't miss it when you come. It basically talks about Hatshepsut's expedition to Punt, where they actually think that it is Somalia. Hatshepsut was very proud of her expedition to Punt because she considered it the origin of her culture, and also because it established a successful trade between the two countries. And one of the things that was exchanged was fauna. So this was the first time in recorded history that fauna was successfully transplanted into another country, which is indeed something to be very proud of. So that's why the inscriptions of this expedition are on the wall in her temple.
So that's called pavilion. Here you can see the cells. The ancient they decorated and they designed them temples to include a big open area here. And this is open places. This is all those be for public.
Okay.
Public and general.
Door hinges, and this is a huge door.
If you look up to the ceiling, you see some color.
Yeah. This is Habu Temple, dedicated to King Ramses III. Holy moly. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's insane.
First I want to show you, this is here the king's in his chariot. And if you look deeper and deeper for the details, here you find the kings in a fighting in a big battle. This is the battle with the Hittite, and the king's fight by himself. Down the wheels and down his horse legs is all the soldiers and armies, and they make him the biggest things. That says he's the great sign at the fighting, and he fights all the enemies and killing the enemies. That's his record. And as the other side is a couple of statues, they're supposed to be for the king. This is the story and date of the war. And here the kings, he tied many of the people as slaves that he got them from the fighting, and he gonna to offer that to Amun-Ra and his wife.
Wow. It's insane.
Also here all the details are recorded in a deep carving. Why very deep carving? Because
So,
the kings would believe if it is deep carving, that will survive forever.
right, and it kind of has.
Yeah. Because sometimes when it is blocks is filled and temples filled,
Right.
other kings came here using those blocks. But if they carve deep and this way, he will not find that useful to use it.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Each one of the columns have a recording that the king's doing his offering for different gods and goddesses. Sekhmet, the lion, Anubis, the jackal, Amun-Ra was the two feathers. On the other we find Tut, the ibis, Horus, Horus was the sun solar disk on his head, and all those people they will order to cut them hands. So you see a hell of hands. You see it?
Yeah.
Up there and up there, but if you look down here, above the cartouche a little bit, you see the penis. A little bit.
Wow.
It is also supposed to be a hell, but it's damaged.
Saw it, but it's fine. No, no, go ahead, go ahead. You're fine.
حملينا بلوفر.
Complex, and it's like 3 temples. This is one of them, and where the queen is another temple, and that is the main one.
Okay.
Amun Mut Khinsu. Amun Mut Khinsu. All building here it is made by sandstone.
Sandstone. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we arrive at Karnak Temple, which is the most popular temple in Egypt, and for good reason. Once you see this place in person, you are simply stunned to realize what a massive building project that they were able to take on with such limited resources. The architecture, the artistry is just simply stunning, amazing. For me, my opinion, if you visit Egypt, this is a must-see, no question.
Papyrus flower, open papyrus
Oh, yeah.
scepter. They are one from 10 columns. 10 columns they're supposed to be here. And when we walk a little bit down, you find a couple of statues for King Ramses II.
This is insane. Okay, and just a little bit of background about the temple. It was dedicated to the gods Amun, his consort Mut, and their son Kansu. Construction began about 2055 BC and ended about 100 AD. So this is a long time they spent constructing this temple, which explains why it's so large. As a matter of fact, it is, I think, still to this day, the largest religious building ever constructed, covering about 200 acres. The hypostyle hall, which is the area that you will most likely be visiting as a tourist, which is the area I visited, most tourists visit, is about 54,000 square feet, featuring 134 columns.
Ancient, they keep it very well by timing and building. 134 columns built by King Seti the start, and King Ramses II. He carry on. He's the son of Seti the first. They carry to giving us one of the biggest plays in the whole world, one of the biggest hypostyle hall in the world. Here, all they looks like a small little garden of papyrus with that number of columns. It is a papyrus garden. Here where they put all them columns. Used to be a ceiling here, and the ceiling is fell down in the house. If you look to the top of the column, you find some column left at the top today. All this is column.
Original.
And
Wow.
this is what is left from what used to be here, which is all the column from the top to down, and it used to be paint in color. The obelisk is a worship symbol in the ancient time. They build it or they cut it actually, because each one of them, one slide, one piece of stone. If you travel around Egypt, there are a couple, like in Rome, Greece, France, Plaza de Concorde, New York, they have one by the Metropolitan Museum.
I may have seen it and I don't even know that
In France, Plaza de Concorde. In Paris, Rome, Greece, they have couple, not just one. Turkey, they have one. All of them, they are taken from Egypt. They came from Egypt.
They need to give them back.
They need to do that.
They need to give them back. I hate that. Even the Rosetta Stone, who has it? England has it?
In France, and then going to the British Museum. Or
that's
the
terrible.
Louvre. This is supposed to be the third entrance where the blocks. The fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and then the others at the other side. Let's go to walk around. The first obelisk, this is for King Tutmosis III. And the other one is the Queen Hatshepsut. Take your time. You want to walk and you want to stop.
This is insane. Holy crap.
This is the
the top.
And this is the broken obelisk. And here you will find the difference is not big, as we've seen it from the other side.
Yeah.
This is a block in the middle. This is the scarab, the beetle, the bug, the scarab. They got off like and happens.
need to get one for my friend. It's crazy. Oh, I'm completely floored and even a little emotional. Oh, nice. It's beautiful.
Look, there's 123. See, 139. 145.
Good.
Hello.
Hi. Crazy, 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 crazy beautiful, crazy impressive, amazing. There's no shortage of adjectives to describe this place. Okay. Not a lot of people here. Good. Only us. Thank goodness. Karnak?
Until Karnak. Here Luxor, and it is go from Luxor until Karnak.
Wow.
It is all that used to be buried under the ground, and the government doing a big digging operation, and they find most of them here. Some of them in good condition and some in a bad condition.
Wow.
Luxor temple,
Beautiful.
one of the beautiful, created part of it by King Ramses II. This is the first section, which is half supposed to be like 6 statue. One is missing, it is a broken, and they try to rebuild it. But still there are 3 standing and 2 sitting. And they represent King Ramses II in different position. Islamic. So he decided to build his mosque in the top of it.
Wow.
That's one very well preserved for him.
That one's good.
This is the festival court.
Holy shoot, look at that.
Look to the
Oh, they ruined it. They ruined it.
They actually plastered over the original work and started
Lord.
doing the kind of painting and work.
So Greeks and Romans, or who was it? The Greeks or the Romans,
Greek
or both?
and the
Both of
Roman.
them. Okay.
Because the history connecting that time into.
Was it like Cleopatra and Caesar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alexander the Great start. Kind of restoration and rebuild and clean the walls from the pigeon and the bird's mess, which is supposed to be all painted in color, but the color version was the time. But now we clean everything here.
Oh, wow.
Look up to the top, you see there are some color.
It's beautiful.
It's still beautiful and perfect. And that is, they finish the operation of clean that, and then they turn it to that section.
Oh, okay.
And they're still working here in that section.
Nice. Oh, I see that top part right there. That looks nice. Yeah.
So this is the Holy of the Holy, the sanctuary, the last room, the King of Rome. And the areas behind this is only a couple columns, and this is the offering room where they do the offerings and the high priest hangover.
Very cheap.
Nope.
You know how much?
See, this is what you got to deal with when you travel. People harassing you and they don't listen to no.
I'm not asking.
You are. Can you go away?
Don't say go
Can
away.
you go
It's my
away?
fucking city. You know?
All right, well, bye. Get away from me, though. Unfortunately, the vendors in Egypt are very aggressive and relentless, and at this point, I was at my wit's end. This guy here, he happens to work at the hotel I was staying at, and he witnessed this incident, and he was very upset. So he offered to escort me out for the night so that no one would bother me. And I went shopping, I had a good time, and I made a new friend, and it was great.